Hi everyone, I am Stacy Endicott, School Counselor and Senior Exit Interview Portfolio Coordinator at Baraboo High School. SEIP at Baraboo High School evolved a few years ago under the notion that we wanted our students to have this final product that would ideally take 4 years to accumulate and would, showcase their work and their K-12 experience. The different components of the portfolio include a Google Drive folder within the student's own Google Drive, the SEIP template, which serves as their main portfolio piece. They put all their final completed components of the portfolio within this template. So it includes a cover page, a personal statement, a resume, a career experience and plan, a final reflection, and then 10 artifacts that showcase their K-12 experience. And we will break down the individual components in just a moment. Students work on their SEIP during homeroom. If they're not meeting the deadlines that have been set for them, then we will request them for enrichment to give them some interruption-free time to get those pieces completed as well. In 9th and 10th grade, the students learn about the SEIP process. They start working on their resume, they complete Zello lessons, and then they accumulate artifacts that they could potentially use down the road as part of their portfolio. In 11th grade, they update their resume, they continue working on the 11th grade Zello lessons, continue collecting those potential artifacts, and then in the spring, they start working on their personal statement. 12th grade is when they do the bulk of the work. There's different timelines for our early grads who graduate in January versus our regular grads who graduate in May. But all students receive a copy of this based on when their plan for graduation is, and everything is hyperlinked for the students so they have the templates right at their fingertips. You can see they've already completed their personal experience, and coming up they have their resume plus some Zello lessons to complete as well. And then looking ahead, their career experience and plan, their final reflection, the artifacts, and then the final completed portfolio must be turned in April. This allows us to track down those students that might need some additional time or encouragement to get the portfolio completed. There are varying levels of student investment within the portfolio. Some students do that bare bones minimum. Some students provide us with a phenomenal final project. Behind the scenes, there is a lot of work that happens behind the scenes on a month-by-month basis. As you can see in this planning timeline, our team meets on a regular basis. We go through all these activities. Each of us has different strengths, so we take, our areas of strength and run with it and all come together in that planning process to really get everything going. We have 2 separate interview dates, one in January for our early grads and then one in May for our regular grads. And all of this is what leads up to that final culminating project on our end from behind the scenes. Here are some different artifact ideas. When you tell the students, okay, you have to submit artifacts, at first they're completely shocked, blown away. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea. So our staff worked really hard to break down class by class some different ideas for what students could submit and write a reflection on. And so here's some ideas that you could take back to your staff as well. It is a graduation requirement, and so it's listed as such in school board policy. Our students don't have an option to opt out of SEIP. They have to turn in a portfolio, even if it's that bare bones, and they have to engage in an interview. So taking a look at a final completed portfolio, here's an example of one of our previous graduates' portfolios. So you can see the cover page. And then the personal statement, the resume, their career experience and plan, the final reflection, and their artifacts. So Jacob's portfolio is an example of one of those exemplary portfolios, but again, it can be the bare bones minimum. We place more of that emphasis on the actual interview experience than we do on the portfolio because we know some students will shine when they get face to face and are able to talk to other stakeholders in the community. So recruiting those interviewers, our superintendent does all of this. I'm kidding. Actually, we work together as a team. Our superintendent does actually send out an email trying to do the initial recruitment for both community members or those who work outside of the district because she has that wide network of contacts. And she will send it out to all district staff as well. However, we do a lot of the follow-up, especially for the district staff. And it's not just the high school staff, it's all district staff. We really do are able to engage staff members from all the schools in our district, no matter what level. Some of them had the students when they were in elementary school, and so they love seeing this, come full circle. So it really is a huge involvement from all our area stakeholders. So the actual interview itself is a 30-minute time slot. Most interviewees take about 20 minutes, maybe more depending on any follow-up questions or how much they elaborate on the questions. We try to pair a staff member with a community member when possible. After the interview is completed, the students complete their own survey as well as the interviewers complete a survey for us to provide us with some perception data. And they provide students with feedback as well on maybe what their strengths were and areas that they could improve with the interview. Prior to the actual interview occurring, we do meet with the interviewers. We give them some tips and some insight about our students. And outside of COVID, we make sure that we take care of them with snacks, treats, and water. So when school shut down in March, we thought, oh my goodness, how are we going to accomplish SCIP since it's a graduation requirement, it's a non-negotiable. We were able to get 100% participation for our class of 2020 via Google Meet. The COVID era was actually how the template was born, and it's actually made things a lot easier this school year. And we will be doing Google Meets for our class of 2020, at least for the early grads, maybe for all grads, but it really was successful. We had to be creative some ways in getting portfolios turned in and getting some students to interview. We had to reach out to parents via email, text. We had to reach out to students' friends, and students' friends then reached out to other students, but we were able to get everyone's portfolio turned in, everyone interviewed, and it really was, at the end of it all, a great process. And we had so much positive feedback from our students. They were glad that they still had that opportunity to complete the interview. So that's the basic overview of SCIP at Baraboo High School. If you have any questions, you can reach out to myself or any of my teammates, and we will be more than happy to answer your questions. Hopefully you'll get this PowerPoint at the end of the webinar, and everything that we showed you is linked in here, and I turned on viewer access for all the documents that are linked, so you should be able to make a copy to use for your own purposes. But thank you for your time.